But this is what we've committed to. So the anticipated results and outcomes for Objective 3. And this is how we will be evaluated. So we're going to do skills priorities for pilot MOOCs. We're going to identify the content. We're going to develop some content this year. So year 2 is all about experimentation. Imagine it as R&D on MOOCs and learning experiences. We're all going to experiment. We're going to figure out how to create this content. We're going to figure out collaboration tools, learning activities. We're going to see what the role of mobile is, especially in Africa, because it is, Africa is the leader in a lot of mobile innovation. And so we should leverage that. Come up with a design framework for each RI lab in terms of how MOOCs fit into the overall innovation strategy. Figure out the delivery of it, the content for the 4 pilot MOOCs, 1 per lab. And so what is that content going to be? Is it going to be video? Is it going to be PowerPoint? Is it going to be text? Is it going to be audio? What is it going to be? It's going to be a menu of things, right? And then the rapid prototyping and testing. Because what we want to figure out is what works, but more importantly, what we want to figure out quickly is what doesn't work. So the schedule, and the anticipated schedule for this year 2, is that since the fall through May, we've been doing the research and planning at Stanford. We've been looking at different platforms. We're going to be working with you. There's going to be a team of students, spring quarter, who will also be working with us on this. They will be focused on that for 10 weeks as part of one of Banny's, his massive change course that Tom is going to be participating in, and I will be advising. So I will be the point person with you and the students. The other thing that we're doing starting March is beginning to think about developing the content for your targeted MOOC prototype. Figuring out the assessment of the technical mechanics of how we're going to do this. And then in June, in the summer, we're going to actually pilot these prototypes. Very, very quickly do it, because what we need to do is get some early signal of what we're going to do in year 3. Right? So we're going to do a simultaneous experiment, and we're going to say, you know what? We thought that a 10-week course with MOOCs with 15-minute videos was going to be like the best thing ever, and we found out that 80% of the students dropped out after the second class. And so what are we doing? Well, one of the deliverables is this workshop, right? So you should think of this as the official kickoff of the MOOC effort, right? So everything that we do, all the thinking that we do, all the deliverables, that is moving this forward, right? So what are we doing? We're going to come up with a framework. We're going to identify potential curriculum and content, right? We're going to figure out who the target audience is. We're going to figure out who the presenters are, who's going to create this content. We're going to figure out the team formation. Who are going to be the key people in each lab who are going to be dedicated to this, that I know that when I can reach out to you and check in, that you know that you can call on me, right? Because we're going to be like this for the next 6 months. Let me tell you, we're going to be best friends. We're also going to do a stakeholder analysis. I don't know that we're going to cover that in this workshop today, but that will be a homework assignment. And the other homework assignment is going to be the technology platform selection, because that's going to vary depending upon the MOOC that you decide to deploy, and it's going to vary depending on your local conditions, right? And if I do, you are entitled to yell at me. Okay, the prototype MOOC format. So these are some of the questions that we need to think about, and we're going to touch on them tomorrow. All right, we may not get answers to them, but we're going to have some good conversations, and we're going to start capturing what comes out, right? So that way when you go back, you have an operational plan and saying, okay, this is where I need to go and investigate further. The key things are things like, and these are practical things, and anyone who's designed a course? All of you, right? So you know the mechanics of designing a course. You have to think about the syllabus, you need to think about the rubrics, you need to think about the tests, how are you going to do the assessments, on and on and on. Same thing with the MOOC, all right? We still have to do that deep thinking. But what changes is that some of these variables will be a little bit more nuanced because of the nature of a MOOC. We're going to say, how much time do we expect students to devote on a MOOC, right? What's the homework that they're expected to do? How is that homework going to be, assigned? Are they going to be graded? How are they going to get feedback? So one of the good news, bad news about Moocs, because people get really excited. So one of the first Moocs at Stanford had 100,000 students sign up, right? And so I talked to professors about it, and they're like, I can't keep up doing the grading for 50 students. Oh my God. I don't want to have 100,000 students. How am I going to possibly grade and evaluate the work of 100,000 students, right? So be careful what you wish for. What if you're massively successful? You're going to be inundated with work.